Hey, and welcome to Three Crows Forge. I told you the next video I did, I would actually do some forging. I've already got my tools set up, ready to go. Got a trusty little hammer here, my tongs, and my forge is already good and hot. And what I'll be using is a piece of 1/4 inch square stock, about 8 inches long, and I'll be making a nail hook out of this. And the first thing I'm going to do after I bring it up to temperature is put a taper on this end. It's basically draw this end out to where it comes to a nice sharp point, and then we'll put a bend in it, and I'll show y'all what to do with that, or how to get to that point, I guess I should say. Now you want your metal to get nice red and hot. That way it's a lot easier to control and maneuver. So it shouldn't take too long since it's 1/4 inch square, hopefully. And with the forge already being up to heat, we should be good to go. Almost there. You see it's got that nice red heat on it. What you want to do is angle your piece up towards the end of your anvil here and hit it down straight, and you're just going to rotate back and forth between those two sides. Try to keep that same angle the whole time. As you can see, it's already starting to taper and come to a little bit of a point. I got to do another heat, and I think one more heat ought to do us good. Got that nice red heat on it again. And just back and forth, and just kind of even it out a little bit as you go. Rotate it as necessary. Now right now we're at what we call a black heat. It looks cool, but it's still very, very, very hot. So now that I've got that taper on it, the next thing I'm going to do is put a 90-degree bend in it. Maybe about an inch and a quarter away from where the taper starts, about here. So I'm going to start my 90 about down here. Again, bring it up to heat. And to mark where I'm going to bend it, I'm going to do what they call a half-face blow. I'll hold my metal over the edge of my anvil, and I'll take half the face of the hammer on the anvil and half off, and I'll strike the metal, and it'll leave a nice little line right where I need it to be, so I know where to catch it every time. And that's when I'll start my 90. And I'll be using the corners of the anvil to get my 90, since these are actually 90 degrees on all sides of the anvil here. Well, not these, but you know, here and here. All right, we're at a good temperature. We're gonna do that half-face blow. Only need to do it once, maybe twice. There we go. And that'll get your 90 started. Knock it down. Flatten it out a little bit. And use the edges of your anvil to get it nice and squared up. Now once you're at this cold heat, this black heat, you can't really do a whole lot of forging. You can get slight hammer marks out. You can kind of tweak the metal a little bit, get any bends or anything that you need to out of it. But not a whole lot of forging can be done. And see, there we go with the 90. We got that. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put a taper on this end as well. After I put that taper in, we're going to round it off, and I'll show y'all how to do that when you get it up to that point. Nice warm spring day today. Sweating a little bit. Wait for it to come to nice orange red color. Much like this. And we're going to do the same thing. Angle it up and just hit the two sides. Get a better grip on the metal here. There we go. Alright, we're cold now, so I'm going to put it back in, get another heat. If you don't know the difference between a coal forge and a propane forge, that's something I'll go into in a later video, maybe when I have a buddy of mine who solely uses a coal forge. And kind of go over the pros and cons of each kind of forge. Got it up to heat again. And again, you want your taper to be nice and even on all sides. May start to twist on you every once in a while. You got time to fix that when it's, you know, even in black heat a little bit. You've got a little bit of time to take care of that. So I think one more heat ought to do it, and then we'll start rounding out. Of course, the thinner you make your metal, it's not going to take near as long to get up to temperature. All right, as you can see, I've got nice pointy tip there. Straighten it out a little bit. So to round it out, what I'll be doing is laying one of these corners on the anvil and hitting the opposite corner, and basically rotating and then hitting the other side, hitting the other corner until it basically turns into an octagon. After it does that, you start hitting those edges and it will turn into a round piece of metal on that part. Clean my anvil off a little bit. It's got a bit of wax residue on it from a project I was working on last night. Just about up to heat. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to tap the corners. You don't want to put a whole lot of force in it, and the anvil will actually do a lot of the work on the other side, so you don't really have to worry about it too much when you get started. But as you go, you want to rotate it and make sure that you are hitting all the corners. Until you get to a nice round piece here. And this is just about done. And you can do this fairly cold. It doesn't have to be red hot heat. But you do run the risk of having cold shuts in your metal, which is where the metal kind of folds in over each other. And it doesn't really cause an issue, it's just not aesthetically pleasing. Oop. Sometimes metal just bounce out of your hand for no reason. So I think one more heat and I should have it nice and round, good to go. And light little taps ought to do you. And there we have it. From a piece of square to a nice round point. So the next heat, I'm going to curl it, and I'm going to curl it down this way. Right? No? let me think on that a second. Skeeters are bad. So when I pull the piece out, if the nail part of the hook is facing down, that's what way I want my curl to go, because the hook is going to come up opposite of the way the nail part is. And I'll explain that in a second. Again, it doesn't take long since it's already pretty thin. It doesn't take a whole lot. Just get a nice good grip on your metal. Come towards the edge of your anvil. Bring the point over a little bit and lightly tap. Then you start getting a curl like this. And then start tapping it in this way. Adjust as necessary. There you've got a nice little curlicue. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up, and I'm going to start my bend in here somewhere, so it's fairly even. But I want to make sure to quench my curlicue because I'm going to be hitting that a little bit to start my bend, and I don't want that to smush. I'm going to get my vise here in view. Hopefully it's in view. It's not in my way right now, so hopefully you can see it. But I'll be using this later on. And I don't want just the end of it to get hot. I want a good portion of it to get hot, since I'm going to be bending a bit of it. Alright, so now I'm going to quench the curlicue. And that's the only part I want cold. The rest of it can stay hot. And here, I'm going to use the horn of my anvil and start on my curlicue and start wrapping it around a little bit. I'm going to bring it around. Straighten it out as necessary. There we've got a fairly shaped hook, fairly decent shape. You can see how the curlicue didn't bend at all because I quenched it there. So I'm going to throw it in the fire one more time, and then I'm going to put a twist in it. That's what this is for. Now for the twist, I want the metal to be fairly hot. I need the whole piece hot. That way I can do what I need to do with it. And for that, I use this little gadget, which is just basically a monkey wrench or pipe wrench that's got a handle welded onto it. Fellow blacksmith actually did this part, but it comes in handy. Now when you set this in, as far down as you put it into your vise is where the curl will stop or start, however you want to look at it. And where you start it, that's going to be my gap right there for my twist. Now I can make this, the twist as wide and or as tight as I want to. Let's I think 1/360 ought to do us. Let's see where we're at. Should still be hot enough for me to adjust if necessary. Let's clean it off. I think what I'm going to do is actually tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to get this hot one more time and tighten this hook up a little bit. Again, got to quench the curly cue, that way I don't smush it. I'm just going to use the horn of my anvil here and just tighten that up just a little bit. And all I'm doing here is a little bit of straightening up. And there we go. I'm going to quench this, and it should still be hot enough for me to put a paste wax on so it doesn't get all rusty. Or not. So what I'm going to do is just run it through my forge once or twice to get it up, you know, fairly decent temperature, so that the wax actually melts into the metal and just doesn't burn off or just kind of sit on top. And I just use paste wax for this part. Nice and smoky, and that's what we want. Probably could still be a bit warmer, but it should be okay. And then I use my brush here to get the excess wax off. I gotta leave that jug alone. go, and just shoot it across the yard. Why not? And there we have it. Nice little nail hook. So if you want to use this, just take your hammer, drive it into a piece of wood, and hang up whatever you want to with it. I got one in my shed. That's what I hang my apron on. So thank you for tuning in. As always, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, you know, do all that fun YouTubey stuff, and as always, keep those fires lit.